Welcome everyone. It's lovely to have you here. And let's start immediately with the superpower exercise, and then we'll begin the rest of it. So take a deep breath, close your eyes, and go into your superpower state, however you do that. So using your word or phrase, or by imagining the color and the subject you love, holding them in your arms in a hug. Very good. And feel that feeling in your chest or your solar plexus. Feel that expansion, expanding your heart. And imagine that ball of light or energy spreading down to your toes, up to the top of your head, out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy. And now allow it to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Very good. Now imagine the little you, yourself as a child, and fill that little you with that same light, that energy, that love. Love that little you just for existing. Good job. And now fill your subject with that same light, that energy, that love. Love them just for existing. And now imagine they don't want to be with you, or they're miserable, or something like that, and keep them filled with that light, that energy anyway. Good job. And now imagine that light or energy filling each person who's in this group, everyone who's on camera and everyone who's off camera today. Fill each of them with that same light, that energy, that love. Allow it to overflow from you and fill everybody in this group. Love each one just for existing. Very good job. All right, you can open your eyes. Very good. Thanks, Steve, for the reminder of eyes open. I'm going to do that later. So for everybody as well, we'll do the for the moment, we'll do the first one with eyes closed so that you can really get into the state of it. And then the second one we'll do it with opening your eyes. But having said that, anyone who has been practicing, and you can open your eyes at any time and practice with your eyes open. So, and the same goes with closed. So whichever level you're at, go ahead and do whatever stage you're at. Very good. So I'm going to go around and check in with each person, and then I have something to share. Actually, I'll share it first so that I don't forget. And because I think this will help others as well. So I was speaking to someone yesterday who's very unhappy with the job they're in, and he really doesn't want to be doing this job, and he finds himself dreading it. The night before he has to go, he's dreading it, and he knows what we do, and he's been practicing a little bit, but he was saying he has resistance to the idea of not feeling that way about this job, because this is not the job he wants to do. He doesn't want to be in this job for any longer, never mind the rest of his life. So he feels that resistance to being okay with the job, because that feels like it means he will stay in it. So I wanted to share with you what I explained to him, in case it helps you as well. And it may not be a job, it may be any other circumstances in your life. And in my case, it was an overdrawn bank account. I didn't want to send love to my overdrawn bank account because it felt like I was then going to keep it, if you know what I mean. So, but as I've said before, this is not about an emotion. You're not loving the thing emotionally. You're shining light into darkness. So if you think of the thing you don't want as darkness, And this unconditional love, this power, is a light that you're shining into the darkness so that it transforms the darkness. Whereas if you're feeling negative emotions, that's like just adding more darkness to the darkness, and the darkness just gets bigger, or at least you maintain it. The way I explained it to him was, if you imagine you're arm wrestling with the thing. So in his case, he's arm wrestling with this job, but he doesn't want it. But as long as he's arm wrestling with it, he's holding on to it. So it can't go anywhere. So engaging it in a negative way keeps it in your experience. So the way to think of it is, I'm arm wrestling with it, or I'm dancing with it, or I'm playing with it. In whatever way, you're keeping it in your experience. By going into a state of unconditional love, by being okay with it exactly as it is without needing it to change, that's like letting go and going, you're here, you're not here, it's okay. And that is when you free yourself from whatever it is that you're trying to change. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to everyone. And the arm wrestling, because I was laughing, because to me that's just such a lovely image as well, that you're arm wrestling, you're going, let go away, I don't want you, but you're holding on to it by wrestling with it. All right, so now let's check in with each person. So Katrina, how are you today?
Yes, I am feeling good with myself.
Good, very good.
Because because I've done some homework, and I've found memories, and I'll keep working on them.
Yes.
And today I decided, yesterday I was saying to you about when I had to speak, or it was time for video, what the body done. So I decided, well, when it's time to go on for the video to take place, I'm now going to interact. And I love tennis. And when I'm playing tennis, I'm in really good form, and I just love it. So I'm not cold, I'm just happy. Yes. So this is tennis to me now.
Very good. Perfect. Yes. And how did you feel today then, getting on this call?
Yes. This is me on this call telling you this.
Good.
Good. Really good.
Good job. Excellent. Well done. And thank you for sharing that, because that gives a great example for others as well. It may not be this call that they're feeling that, but it may be other things, interviews or jobs or relationships or anything really. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Katrina. Okay. Good job. So proud of you.
Thank you.
And let's go to Victoria. Hi, Victoria, and welcome. You're new, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I tried to join in yesterday, but I did, and I was a little bit late. But today I was here early, so I already said hi to Stephen, Katrina, and Kathy.
Oh, good. Good job. And how are you doing today?
I'm amazing today. Absolutely amazing.
Good.
I started doing homework straight away. I found out about you just last week on Wednesday or Thursday, I think, a week ago. So, and I got my first email with your first exercise.
Oh, good, yes.
And something, I don't know, I think I was ready for this, I mean, I've been engaging in meditation and other self-empowerment stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
So this is for me, it's like, it was music to my ears to be, to deepen my knowledge and my connection with my subconscious, because I truly believe that is where the change lies, and I was telling, it's actually, it was so emotional.
Yeah.
That after, I'm a 25, I don't know how many years old smoker, and I actually quit on Monday.
You what, sorry?
I quit smoking.
Oh, well done. You quit smoking. Fantastic. Sorry, you broke up there a little bit. Oh, that's fantastic. Well done.
And I tried, it's only my third try, and it's been a long years, but this is, it's so different. This is like coming from my heart somehow. It was like an urge from within,
Yes. Oh, good job. And I'll tell you something, because I used to smoke, and I used to smoke a lot, and I absolutely loved it. I had no intention of ever giving up.
Same.
But what happened was, when I started doing this superpower, so I hadn't even found out about childhood memories yet. I was just doing this, what we're doing here, the superpower.
Okay.
And one day, I used to like to smoke in the car, specifically when I was driving somewhere. And one day I got in the car, lit a cigarette, and thought, oh, that's awful. Put it out. And I just didn't like it anymore. So I didn't smoke. So that's, and then I think I tried it again, like I was at a social gathering or something, someone else was smoking. I thought, oh yeah, I really feel like a cigarette. And I took a drag and I was like, oh, that's awful. So,
well, actually, you know, the funny thing is that I was actually, I've been smoking since childhood, really. You know, I was only 12 when I started, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for the child, you know, the memories, it was a lot to do with it. I don't know, but I'm doing good. Thank you for having me here. I'm really, really glad to be here.
Good job. Well done. And also for everyone else listening as well, it's as you change how you feel about yourself and your beliefs about yourself, things like smoking and other things that are bad for you often change automatically because that self-destruction program isn't there anymore. So that's fabulous. Well done, Victoria.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very excited for you. You're welcome. And welcome to the group. We're so happy you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Oops, there goes my screen again. Okay, so Lisa says, I noticed that the public is not as fearful. I live in Southern California. Being in a love state changes perception beautifully. Yes, well done. Very, very good. Steve and I were talking about that this morning as well, how your perception changes as you live from the state more and more. And for those who know about energy and stuff like that, it's also, you're right, you're of course, so we talk mainly about the biology, the physiology, because we want to make sure nobody feels excluded or that kind of thing, because it does work on a purely physiological level and biological level. But in addition to that, of course, you're changing your vibration. The more you stay in the state, it affects that as well. So yay. All right. And thanks for sharing that, Lisa. And on to Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm better, thank you. I did my pre-paving and I did my superpower and I fell off to sleep beautifully.
Oh, fantastic. That's so good, because when I went to bed last night, I was thinking of you.
Oh, how sweet.
I was thinking of you and I was thinking, I wonder how you're doing, and I sent you lots of unconditional love. So
that's
so hopefully so I'm so glad. That's wonderful to hear. Well done. Good job.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And Tina?
Oh, me. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm good today. I'm good. I'm sending love to my plants, and I want to see what's going on, what will happen.
Yes.
And this morning I was checking one of the plant which didn't blow for, I don't know, 3-4 years maybe.
Right.
I didn't see any flowers there. And today I see the little flowers.
There you go.
It's like, really, I'm doing this just for 5 days, 6 days? And I got some flowers in one of them. So I'm going to see how the other going to do.
Good job. Well done.
Yeah. And another thing, when you guys were talking about addiction to cigarettes, I used to smoke too for over 25, 27 years.
Yes.
And I quit because my organs didn't want. I was feeling like I'm going to faint and like, anything. It was so bad. Yeah. But I start to eat instead of that. That's how I gain weight. But after I lose the weight, I lose. And I don't eat that much like I used to.
Yeah.
But I still gaining weight.
Yes.
So I don't know if this has something to do in the past, because I know why I start to smoke.
Yes. Okay. So that's it's a good point to bring up. And I'm going to say this for everybody, for those who need to hear this as well, because I didn't know this and I was completely flummoxed as to why I was putting on weight, because I'd always been very slim, and then I was putting on weight, and I was working out 3 times a week for an hour to 2 hours. I was eating practically nothing, and what I was eating was salads and, you know, healthy stuff, and I was still not losing weight.
Yeah, I was in one point like that too, but
Right.
I give up. I said, this doesn't work.
So here's what I found out, and I had no idea of this. During menopause, before menopause and during menopause, it's normal to put on weight.
Oh, maybe that's why.
This is why I'm saying it. Most women apparently do put on, our metabolism slows down, so we're not burning the fat as we used to, and the body stores more. So that helped me so much, because I thought, oh, okay, it's not me, because I had done all the work. I'd changed memories. I was being, you know, using everything we teach, and I lost a little bit, but then I just stayed at the same no matter what I did. And that explained it. So the thing that I found started to help me was intermittent fasting. So I'll leave you to look that up. There's a lot of information on it, and you can do some research and find out if that would be suitable for you. I find it really easy, and my weight was coming down then because of that. So,
like, what do you mean, the fasting, like the diet, or just like to not eat a few days? Or?
So what I do is I do the 16-hour fast, and that's what works for me. I'm an early person, so I'm early to bed, early in the morning. I love getting up early in the morning. So I have my supper most days. So sometimes I don't, you know, it's not very strict, but most days I'll have my supper at 4 o'clock, and I stop eating by 5, and then I go. And so I don't eat anything then. I go to bed really early anyway, so it doesn't matter. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I can eat from 9 in the morning, but I usually wait longer. And it's easier than I thought it would be. So I do, you know, I drink black coffee and water. And then, but like everything, it's important not to force yourself. So, and very, very importantly, most importantly of all, I'm not a nutritionist or a medical person. So I'm not recommending it. I'm saying that's what I did. Do your own research. So if you just check intermittent fasting, or you can say 16/8, you'll find out more information on how it works, why it works, and all of the stuff behind it, the information behind it. And then, of course, yeah, the coffee that we've just started on. So I'm going to see how that goes as well. We just got ours today, the new one. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the problem, because before I never eat supper, I was smoking.
Yes.
And even if I was working different hours, I didn't eat late. Now I come home 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm hungry. I'm starving.
Yeah.
How can
so
I
then
go
you could
sleep
do that
with no food? So
no, you could eat then, and then just do a fasting from then. So let's say you finish eating by 10, and then 10 till 10 the next morning would be 12 hours. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, and then have lunch at 2. You know what I mean?
Usually I go to work 12, 1 o'clock, 11, I start to live.
Right.
So I have
what
to
I'm
eat
saying
breakfast,
is,
because when I get to work, I'm hungry.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, just do the research and find what suits you best. All right. But the important piece I wanted to say is that for everyone else who doesn't know, because I didn't know, and I wish I'd known, is that menopause does cause you to gain weight and maintain weight. Most women, not everybody, but most women. So that at least explains it, that it's normal.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right?
But it's anyway, I have too much weight. Anyway. I was skinning all the time, just bones and skin, and everybody was laughing at me. And there was one time where I was searching what to do to gain weight. I couldn't. So now it's opposite.
All right. Now you know.
I know.
All right, sweetie. Thank you for sharing. All right. And then Cheryl. Good morning, Cheryl. How are you today?
Good morning. I just wanted to tell Tina that I did have my annual telemed with my naturopath doctor, and she reminded me to stick to my intermittent fasting and I'm just going to say one quick thing because you can look it up, but it just basically is you pick an 8-hour window throughout the day and you eat all of your food during those 8 hours. So you just don't go before and you don't go after. And she said it's really important for the body to digest your food, that we don't really realize how sluggish our digestive system can become if we are eating and not giving our bodies enough time. And it changed my life. It just makes your body feel so much better. And I do all organic stuff. But anyway, so I am doing the money course, and I went to the bank this morning because I've had checks sitting on my piano for about a month. This is a pattern I've always had in my life. I remember I had a cleaning business. They would pay me. I would hold on to the checks. I do this not just with money, with food even. I always feel for some reason I have to have a stash somewhere because it's going to run out, you know? Yeah. So I've been looking at the checks on my piano, and I'm like, all right, people are going to start asking, why aren't you cashing the checks? Yes. So please go to the bank. So I went to the drive up today, and it was just so funny. The lady was like, oh, so there were 2 checks from the government they were reimbursing me for student loan money that they had taken out of my husband's check, and they were giving it back because of the coronavirus. They're giving it back. So I said, I explained what it was, and she's like, oh, and I'm like, what's like what's happening? And I just had so much fear in the car. Like, I'm not going to get my money. And then she says, how would you like the money? And then she says, well, you have a check here from someone in Dallas. Were you expecting that check? And I'm like, yes, I was expecting the check. And I'm like, yeah. She goes, do you know the person? I'm like, yes, it's my cousin. And then she's like, okay, just checking. And I was like, this is like a bizarre, why is she asking me these questions? But as I was, I got the money and I drove away, and I thought, wow, you were really resisting allowing that money to come to you, because look at the crazy questions that she asked. Yes. So then I said, this is great news, because once I change my beliefs, I'll go to the drive up and she'll just hand over my money. So
exactly. Yes. And the other thing, so that thing of hoarding checks and not depositing checks, you're not alone. I've worked with other people who also have this pile of checks, and they need the money, but they just resist depositing the checks.
I do it with food too. Like I'm always like, I'll have that like a bag of something I like, and then there will be like 2 left, and I'll save it until it goes stale and I forget about it. But it's like a thing. I have to figure out why in my mind do I think that I have to always have a little something put away.
So one of the things you can ask is, where in your childhood did you feel like there wouldn't be enough? Or where did you experience there wasn't enough? And it won't necessarily be food or money. It could be affection.
There it is.
Attention or anything else. There you go.
Yeah.
So the way to change that is recreate your childhood with plenty of affection and attention from your parents.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot. And I actually talked to my brother yesterday, and he was cracking up because I was telling him how I'm redoing our childhood. And he's just like, he starts cracking up. He goes, you must have a very good imagination. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I support you. He goes, but I hope this success doesn't rely on a third party going along with it, because I don't have the imagination you do.
So, well, the great news is that you don't need a strong imagination. You just need a willingness to do it.
Yes.
That's all. And we all imagine differently. So for some people I remember thinking, I don't have a good visual. I can't visualize anything. I close my eyes and I see the inside of my eyelids. That's all I see. I can't see anything. But it's okay if you just know something, or you just imagine hearing it. It doesn't matter however your brain processes it. And in addition to that, the more you do this, the stronger the other senses get. So I now am a visual person. I never used to be, but I can now visually see stuff, imagine stuff. So
the painting the door exercises is pretty cool for people who can't. But Yeah, I'm finding a lot of pleasure in doing the memories over. So
Good, good, good. That's how it should be. Very good, Cheryl. Thank you so much for sharing. Excellent. And let's go over to Wanda. Hi, Wanda.
Hi.
Hey, how are you today?
Good, good. I wonder how people write. So how do they do it? Because I see messages that go pop up at the top. How do they do that?
Oh, yeah, you're on a phone, aren't you?
No, on a tablet.
On a tablet. I'm not sure how, because I haven't used Zoom on a tablet before. So I've got the computer here and I just press chat. But I'm sure that there's do you have 3 dots anywhere?
Uh-huh.
If you hover, if you press that or hover over something, does it say chat anywhere?
It says chat and then the number 11.
Okay, so if you press that, press the chat.
Oh.
You get it? So you can type there as well. Good.
Right.
Thank you for asking that, because there may be others on phones who don't know as well, and so they may have needed to know that. So that's good.
Okay, so my update for today is I'm working today, and I work with HIV patients, and I'm doing an assessment. And this particular patient was on my list for today. And I've been working with this patient for almost 7 years. He's HIV, he uses drug, and he has cancer. And for many years I did my best trying to work with him until I got to the point, like, you know, what's the point of me trying to save one person when I have 300 more to save? So kind of like I was slacking with him. Like I would not want to, you know, why bother? Like I would just do the basic, like his medication, stuff like that. Because I know what he does. He takes his medication, he takes everything that he gets, he sells it for drugs.
Yeah.
So today, when I saw him on the schedule, I didn't feel that resistant to ignore it. So I did do the assessment, and I didn't feel that in my gut that, why am I doing this if I know what he's going to do with it?
Fantastic.
So, I felt a little compassion, not like, oh, I'm so sorry for you, but I didn't feel the resistance that I always have with him.
Good job.
So I kind of like, oh, wow, you know, I spent almost 2 hours with him on the phone and the doctor, and making sure to follow up with his condition, even though I know as soon as he get that medication, he's just going to sell it. But I didn't feel that resistance. So
wow.
That was good.
That is fantastic, Wanda.
Yeah.
Well done. I'm so happy to hear that.
I was happy, wow, I didn't feel that resistant to work with him today.
That is wonderful. And now you can level that up even more by filling yourself with that love and then sending love to him exactly as he is. Fill him with that same love no matter what he does. And you'll find that that gets easier and stronger and freer as you do that.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is about, I've been asking for the pain, right? To target my pain.
Oh, yes.
And yes, so I have pain all over, but I've been having the pain on my eye for days and days. And then last night I was listening to the old class that I didn't pay attention. And at the moment when we were doing the superpower, I said, why don't you get up and look at your eye? And it was just a little eyelash inside my eye.
Wow. Fantastic.
Why can't you just look at your eye? And if I got it out, I said, that's it, pain is gone. It was like, oh, wow, I can't believe it.
Oh, brilliant. Well done, Wanda.
That's good.
And so, Steve, can you add Wanda with the pain to the target list as well?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for sharing that, Wanda. That's fantastic. Excellent job all round. Very good. And then for those who are new, just to let you know, if you're not on camera, I won't come round to you in case you want to be incognito. So anybody who's not on camera, if you want to speak, you're very welcome to speak. You can just unmute yourself and speak. Or otherwise, you can put in the chat what you want to say if you want to stay incognito. And if you put in the chat that it's okay to mention your name, then I'll mention your name. But if you don't say that, I won't mention your name. I'll just read the message. All right. So let's have a look at the chat. Going up. Keeping camera off. Oh, overwhelm. Yes. So someone had asked me about overwhelm. And actually, she'd asked if for the YouTube video that we did on overwhelm, and I actually can't find it. It's an old one. So Steve doesn't know yet, but we need to do a, I haven't had a chance to say to you, we need to do a new Facebook Live on overwhelm. So we'll do that. We'll put it on our YouTube channel. But in the meantime, I said that I would just quickly cover it. So when you have feelings of overwhelm, no matter what it's to do with, no matter what you're overwhelmed by, what's causing the feeling of overwhelm is the fact that your prefrontal cortex is offline and you're trying to use it. So how that works is stress chemicals that go into our system whenever we're feeling a negative emotion of any kind, any negative emotion, stress chemicals are pumped into the system. And one of the effects of those stress chemicals is that blood drains from the prefrontal cortex of your brain where you do your cognitive thinking. It drains to the back of the brain. So it means that the part of your brain that you make decisions and strategize and organize and communicate, all of those skills, those high level skills, is literally offline. So it's like trying to drive with the handbrake on. And what happens is the more we try and, still continue with whatever it is that overwhelms us, the more overwhelmed we feel because we literally can't, so it is like trying to drive and your handbrake is on, and the more you press the thing, the more frustrating it gets. So the answer for all overwhelm is to take a step back, even though that's counterintuitive. So we're designed to focus on the problem, focus on the danger. So we have that compulsion, that automatic and natural compulsion to focus on what's wrong because that's for survival. So it's about going against that, overriding that instinct, taking a step back and doing something else that will allow you to feel good. So listen to music, watch comedy, do the superpower exercise, just imagine being surrounded by your favorite color, look for 5 things to be grateful for, do some physical exercise, do whatever it takes to feel good again. Once you're feeling good, so once you're feeling happier or calm or peaceful or loving, grateful, all of those feelings, it means that the blood has returned to the prefrontal cortex. Because as you bring those stress chemicals down and you start producing feel-good chemicals, blood is allowed to return to that part of your brain, and you will find you automatically can think more clearly. So what's actually happening is, let's say you're overwhelmed by too many things to do and not enough time. So I've got too much to do. Everybody wants something of me and I don't even know what to do first. I can't work it out. As you're thinking that, you're pumping stress chemicals into your system. Your prefrontal cortex is going offline. And so the more you try and think, the more you can't think, the more you can't, I don't know what to do, I'm confused, and you make mistakes and that kind of thing. So you step away and you go, I'm going to take a walk, I'm going to meditate for a bit, I'm going to listen to some music, I'm going to do superpower, whatever it is. Now I'm feeling good. Now I'll come back, and now you'll be able to see what to prioritize, how to organize it. You'll come up with ideas and solutions you hadn't come up with before. So I hope that answers the question. But if not, let me know if you need more clarification on that, or if that didn't answer the original question you had. And also just to let you know, and then of course, sending the superpower to it. So the feelings of overwhelm, love them. I love it all anyway. And even if you don't feel the love, decide you love it, and that will already start to bring those stress chemicals down as well. Carrie says, I sent love to my daughter and then she behaves. It's like magic. Yes, very, very good. And it's not just children. I see Carrie says, yes, Carrie, if our children receive love, they behave nicely. If they are difficult, it means that some of their needs have not been satisfied. They need so much love and attention at that age. I'd personally go from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'll try. Thanks for advising. Okay, so that is true. But in addition to that, Your own state is what affects everybody around you, including your children. So you can give your children all the love and affection, but if you are not feeling it for yourself, that's going to affect them unconsciously. So that's very, very important, that it starts with you and then it overflows from you. So we can't give what we don't have. And that's why self-love and self-approval and self-respect and acknowledgement and all of those things is so important, because if we don't have it, we can't genuinely give it authentically. So make sure you're filling yourself with that same love first, and then allow it to overflow from you and fill your child or your partner or whoever else is around or whoever else you want to send it to. All right. So very good. Well done, Carrie. I'm so proud of you. Lisa says, I high five my little self. It is so fun. Good idea. Yes, I like that. That's very cute and effective. Carrie, I can always regain my superpower after I don't think about it for a while. I'm not stressed about it anymore. Yes, well done. Good job, Carrie. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of your progress. Great job. Cheryl says, I can't use chat on my iPad. That's why I'm logged in 2 different places. Okay, very good. That being said, I've missed any previous chat messages. If anyone messaged me, please send again. Please target my daughter. She was tested today for COVID. So Steve, if you could add that to the list. Thank you. And please add pain as a target for me, and you can use my name. Okay, so great. So Cara Payne, please, Steve, on the list. Thank you. Oh, you've already done that. Thank you. If I can choose a target, I'd like dizziness. I have vertigo, stroke dizziness constantly with ups and downs. Thank you. Okay, and you've added. Thank you, Steve. You're on it, aren't you? Thank you so much. You're doing a great job. All right. So if that's all the check-ins with everyone, let's do some practice. So like we did yesterday, I'm going to go through with eyes closed, targeting each person in the group and the targets that are on the list. And then I'm going to suggest you open your eyes and maintain it with your eyes open. Having said that, anyone who wants to do the whole thing with your eyes open, you open your eyes whenever it suits you. So the goal we're aiming for is to be able to maintain this state of power, this state of unconditional love, the light, the energy, with our eyes open when we're just going about our daily business. It's a state that you want to start living from eventually. So that's the end goal. So then we do whatever it takes to get to that. All right, lovely. So let's begin. So take a deep breath, close your eyes, and go into your superpower state, however you do that. So using your word or phrase, or imagining holding someone or something you love in your arms in a hug. And start to focus in on the feeling in your chest or solar plexus, the physical feeling. Feel your heart expanding. Feel that light or energy shining out from your heart. And start spreading it down to your toes, that beautiful light or energy down to your toes, up to the top of your head and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very good. Fill each of the cells of your body with that same light or energy. Love each cell just for existing. Good job. And now think of the little you and fill that little child with that same love, that light, that energy. Love that child just for existing, that little you. And now allow that light, that energy to overflow from that child and fill your whole childhood with that same light, that energy, that love. Fill everything and everyone in your whole childhood. Flood that light throughout your childhood. This is your power. And now imagine your subject. Fill them with that light or energy. And then imagine they don't want to be with you, or they're resisting in some way, or they're miserable, and keep them filled with that light or energy anyway. Love them anyway. Very, very good. And now let's go to Kathy. Let's fill Kathy with that same light or energy from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. So she's now full of that light, that energy. Love Kathy just for existing. Very good. And now let's go to Bogiswava or Tina and fill her with that same light or energy from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Fill Bogiswava with that same light, that energy, that love. Love her just for existing. Very, very good. And now let's go over to Lisa. Fill Lisa with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. So she's now full of that light, that energy, that love. Love Lisa just for existing. And allow that light or energy to overflow from Lisa. Fill the whole room she's in. And fill her son from the tips of his toes to the top of his head and out to his fingertips with that same light, that energy, that love. Love Lisa just for existing. Very good. And now to Cheryl. Fill Cheryl with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. So she's full of that light or energy. Love Cheryl just for existing. Very good. And now allow that light, that energy to overflow from Cheryl and fill her daughter with that same light or energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Cheryl's daughter just for existing, whether she tests positive or not for COVID. Love her anyway, exactly as she is. Pure, unconditional love. Very good. And now on to Wanda. Let's fill Wanda with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Wanda just for existing. And now fill whatever pain she has, fill that with that same light, that energy, shining light into the darkness. Love the pain. Love the whole of Wanda, no matter what. Pure, unconditional love. Very good. And now let's go over to Victoria. Let's fill Victoria with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Victoria just for existing. Very, very good. Good job. And now let's do some to Caro. Fill Cara with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Caro just for existing. And now fill the dizziness, the vertigo or dizziness. Fill all of that with that same light, that energy, that love. Love it all anyway, no matter what. And now to all the others who want to stop smoking, send this light, this energy to all of them, no matter what, whether they stop smoking or they don't stop smoking. Love them all anyway, exactly as they are. Love the smoking exactly as it is. Very, very good. And now to Amy. Fill Amy with that same light, that energy, that love from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Amy just for existing. And fill the overwhelm with that same love, that light, that energy. Whatever overwhelm is there, fill it all anyway, and all the physical symptoms. Love them all anyway. Very good. And now to everyone else who's off camera, fill all of them with that light, that energy, that love. Love them all anyway. And now to Katrina, who switched off her camera and I didn't realize. Fill Katrina with that light, that energy from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. So she's full of that light, that energy. Love Katrina just for existing. Very good. And Cara, fill Cara with that same light, that energy, that love. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Fill Cara, love Cara just for existing. And the pain, whatever pain Cara's experiencing, fill all of that with the same love, the light, the energy, shining that light into the darkness. The pain is the darkness, this love, this power is the light. Love it all anyway, exactly as it is. Very good job. And now to everyone watching this recording, fill them with that same light, that energy. Love them all anyway. And to all those who are experiencing technological difficulties, fill all of that with that same light, that energy. Fill the people who are experiencing technical difficulties and the technical difficulties themselves. Fill it all with light, that love, that energy. And now you can, maintaining this state of love and light and unconditional love, you can open your eyes if you want to try it. Try keeping that going with your eyes open. And you can look at the screen, you can look at the different people on the screen, send love to them. And then you can start sending love to inanimate objects around you. So pick something to aim that love at. Remembering that this is target practice, so it's not for the sake of the inanimate object, it's for you to be able to practice maintaining the state and aiming. Very, very good. And you can switch targets. And if you find you're losing the feeling, you can close your eyes again. It's no problem. You can open and close your eyes as you like. And so the aim is to be able to live from the state. That's what you're aiming for. To spend most of the time in this state as you go about your daily life, aiming at everything around you. Very, very good. All right, so let's check in. How was that for everybody? Was good? Any questions or comments or need for help? Katrina?
Okay. Yeah, the thought of I don't want to send him or her love because he or she doesn't deserve it.
Okay, very good, yes.
Yeah, so how do you override that and be genuine? Sorry.
Yes, yes. So that's a very good question, and a lot of people have that question. And that's because we think of love as an emotion rather than a power. So if you think of that person and whatever the reasons they don't deserve love, you think of all of that as darkness. This feeling of unconditional love is a power, and it's a light. So when you shine this light at things that you don't want or that you feel don't deserve, or they're mean, or whatever, the evil, whatever you fear you're experiencing, you're shining light into darkness. You're not approving of anything. So let's say, I gave the example actually of, I think I gave the example of this. I know I did it in the workshop, but somebody who betrayed me quite badly in court. It was a big thing, and I couldn't imagine how I could ever speak to them again. But what I did was, so this little tip might help as well. I was right at the beginning of developing this method, and I had just discovered the unconditional love thing, and I was working on developing the skill myself. But when I thought of these two people, actually, I thought, I can't imagine ever forgiving them or ever even saying hi, because it was I had so much feelings of betrayal and hurt and all of that. But when I decided to see them as magnificent beings who are playing the roles of the baddies in my story. And then at the very least, even if I couldn't forgive them, I could at least admire their performance, because they were doing a really good job. They were very convincing as the baddies. So that's how I started to be able to open up to that a little bit. So I thought, wow, yeah, so they're really good at what they're, they're good at what they're doing. That, very convincing. And then I started to be able to shine this light. And so I filled them with that light, that love, and loved them exactly as they are, shining the light into the darkness. Does that help a bit?
Well, it goes against the grain to it's okay,
Yes, it does go against the grain, and that's natural, because we are used to seeing love and experiencing love as an emotion, and it's approval. And so I love things that are nice. I love people who are nice to me. I love things that bring me joy, or that I admire, and so on. But when you start seeing this, because this is not just love, this is unconditional love, and it's a power. And so when you think of darkness and shining light into darkness, you wouldn't go into a dark room and just, go, oh, it's so dark, I don't know what to do about the darkness, it's just terribly dark, and perhaps put a blindfold on, right? You would go in with a torch. Okay. Unconditional love is your torch. Does that help? Mm-hmm. It's also, so I said a long time ago, I said this, unconditional love is my shield and my sword. See it as protection, see it as a weapon if necessary to protect yourself. And so when somebody is mean or ugly, and by ugly I mean behaviorally, of course, darkness, all of that, when you aim unconditional love, starting inside yourself and then aiming at that protects you. There's nothing they can do, because there's nothing to tennis, you're not hitting the ball back to them. right? So they're hitting the ball over and over again with their darkness, their dark balls. Sounds terrible, you know what I mean? But, right, and you're just you just got your unconditional love there. You're just going, it's fine. I'm not going to hit the ball back to you.
It's like I can't see the ball.
Right.
I can't see the dark ball. Okay.
Right. Does that help a bit?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Very good. Good job. Thank you for asking that. All right, listen, chats. Thanks, Odile. Very powerful. Thanks, Odile, for this wonderful session. God bless you. Good wishes to all. Thank you, and to you. And it was so lovely having you join us. Amazing. Very good. Was able to keep the love with eyes open. Good job, Cheryl. Well done. Brilliant, Odile. Funny about the 2 people you felt betrayed by. Yes. Strong. I still feel it. Good, Carrie. Unconditional love is our torch. Beautiful. Yes, indeed. And love the tennis reference. Good. So I'm so excited that you all were able to do that. And so tomorrow is Thursday. So we'll do it the same tomorrow, the same as we did it today. And then on Friday, we'll give it a go with bringing this feeling up with eyes open. For those who want to. You don't have to, of course, but for those who want to. So once you've been able to maintain it while you've got your eyes closed and then opening them, then we're going to try starting with your eyes open and just bringing up that feeling. So you can practice over the next 24 hours as well. All right. Oh, Steve, I see you talking, but we can't hear you.
Sorry. I just wanted to put in a reminder regarding the all-day workshop that's coming up next Saturday, if you wanted to say a couple of words about that.
Yes, indeed. So on May 16th, we're doing the online workshop again like we did before. This time, our guest practitioner is a hypnotherapist, Tina. And in fact, Tamina was talking in one of the other sessions. Tamina she happens to live near Tina, the hypnotherapist, and she went to her for a session for the migraines and the comfort eating, and she got some great results from Tina. So we're very, very excited to be collaborating with Tina. So the workshop is focused on childhood memories, finding how to find and change childhood memories, but not just how to, we'll actually take you through the process. As far as, I know somebody was mentioning they were concerned about being in a group. It's very important to know you don't have to give any details at all. So this work all happens inside your own mind. So you don't need to nobody needs to hear or know of anything that you're working on. We take you through the process as you, with you following along inside your own mind. There's a workbook as well. And then in addition to that, if you want to share stuff, you're very welcome to, of course. In addition to that, we have breakout rooms. So if you do need one-to-one help, if you're struggling with something, Steve will take you into one of the breakout rooms to address something specific. And so we'll do the childhood memory stuff, our stuff, we'll teach that, we'll take you through it. And Tina will do her presentation on the hypnosis part of things, on the techniques that she uses to share some of that with you, so you can use that with the new childhood memories if you find that helps. So hopefully that, and the details are, the link is on the resources page where you get the videos, where you get the video recordings of this, and if you click that link, it'll give you all the information on there. All right, so have a fantastic rest of your my naturopath doctor was very impressed by the work I'm doing with you. She loved it. Thank you. That's great to know. Good job, Cheryl. All right. So have a fantastic 24 hours. We'll see you back tomorrow. Lots of love to all of you. Bye.